So, as expected, we've heard the old Sheryl Swoopes. We've heard the old Sheryl Swoopes talking about preseason, and obviously Caitlin Clark's a picture here because I'm not showing. We're just going to listen to it. But as expected, never anything positive with the Fever. Never anything positive. In fairness, actually, no, she did say the Fever have a chance of winning, but again, when she's talking about preseason in general, there's something about the Fever. So let's take a listen to what she said. And is it that bad, or is it just something that seems bad because it's Sheryl Swoopes? Because I think that this is something. But wait a minute, is this the WNBA expert that said that Georgia Amor led the nation in assists and that Paige Bueckers led the nation in assists? Is this the WNBA expert that's with Sheryl Swoopes? Am I right in saying that? Am I right in saying that? I need to check. Right here. So, I have no idea. I think this might be the WNBA expert that said that. Obviously, you guys heard there. I was trying to see if in the video if I showed it, but no. Let's take a listen.
Here, but I did have a question though with Indiana, right? Because even though the starters weren't in, like Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull they've been in the league for a while. You actually had players who, like Bree Hall. Why wasn't she in that game per se?
Obviously, she didn't show enough. Like, I understand playing everyone in preseason, but they went 12 deep. They went 12 deep. And they wanted to win. Like, the Mystics got into it. Sophie Cunningham got into it with the Mystics. They wanted to leave Sophie Cunningham in that game. These players were getting into it with the Mystics. As soon as you start a shoving match as soon as one of your players gets suplexed, all's fair in love and in love and war at this stage. I was gonna say all's fair in love and basketball, Jesus. But I'm just saying right now, all's fair. It's fair game. They can do whatever the hell they want. Once you see a player get suplexed in a preseason game, that's all the preseason, like, you know, what people are meant to do in preseason, all that's out the window. All the traditions, all what's supposed to be for is out the window. They're winning that game.
If you're still trying to figure out who's going to make the team, who you're going to cut.
Timpson. There's no figuring it out. It's Michaela Timpson. And it was Michaela Timpson before that game. It was Michaela Timpson on the day of the draft, and it was still Michaela Timpson.
So I was a little confused with what Steph was doing, but anyway, it is what it is.
Again, calling out Stephanie White, calling out like the Fever coach. But all I'm going to say is it made perfect sense, but like, why is of course when it comes to that, it's calling out Stephanie White in this game. But if you look at some of the other games, we're going to look at, say, the Golden State Valkyries. In fairness, they give Caitlin Chen and stuff some minutes at the end of the bench. But they'd already cut Cheyenne Sellers, who was not going to make the team. There have been a lot of teams already cut players before their preseason games. The Chicago Sky, before the second preseason game, cut players because they didn't want to have to play the likes of Garantes against the Minnesota Lynx, so they already had cut them. And for the Fever, I would say Bree Hall would have been cut for that game anyway. Jillian Lane didn't play either. And I would have assumed they would have cut both of them. If they were played the Brazil game, they would have cut both of them. It was say if it was Brazil, day off, Mystics, they would have cut both of them for the Mystics game. Like, there were players at Chicago Sky only played against the Washington Mystics. And at the same time, what do you learn from playing a player in the fourth quarter? You don't. And again, would I have rather seen Bree Hall play over Jaylen Brown? Sure. But I would have rather seen Sophie Cunningham try to lead a bench unit. I would have rather seen Lexi Hull play with have to have a more advanced offensive role than she's going to have in the WNBA. That's going to help the team. That is going to help the team. But again, you're just seeing this type of stuff. with Swoopes, and I'm glad that one of the accounts posted the Sheryl Swoopes clip, because I saw a bunch of tweets. I was going to talk about it. I read an article, I think. I need to see, can I find the articles written about it? Might have been actually Sports Illustrated. Like, I was talking about it last night when, like, if you guys saw my video yesterday, I was talking about it last night that I was going to record that today, and obviously there's been some other videos that have mattered, but it's just a weird one. It's just genuinely a weird one. And again, like, I'm not saying for anyone to go after Sheryl Swoopes. It's just a lot of weird ones. It's just genuinely a lot. It's just a lot of weird things where it's like, it's always anything that is associated with Caitlin Clark just seems to be a negative. And again, I don't think if this was just what a normal person was saying, if this was a normal person saying this, fair enough. But straight away, Sheryl Swoopes going, and like, you're looking at obviously Sheryl Swoopes calling her out. Like, I don't think it's the time to call it out. Sheryl Swoopes being like, preseason isn't about the players you know are returning. It's a brand new team. It's a brand new team, and you better believe no one's going to be calling the Chicago Sky out for playing Ariel Atkins 22 minutes against Brazil. No one's going to be calling. I'm just trying to look at some minutes for players to play big minutes. Like, if she's going to say that, then Queen Egbo played 4 minutes for the Aces, because the Aces knew they were going to cut her the next day. Like, I know Bree Hall got 0 minutes, but what difference would it have made if Bree Hall played 4 minutes? And the fact is that unlike a lot of these teams, the Fever have absolutely no... That was the first time they were ever on the court together. And I mean this when I say this, it might be one of the last times that they can fully practice against another opposition, against WNBA level opposition, playing without Caitlin Clark on the floor. So yeah, would it have been better if Bree Hall had, like, if she had played in that game? Sure. But I don't think it made any difference. I think they decided to cut her anyway. I think they probably decided to cut her on the night of the draft. And also, it is not relevant enough for Sheryl Swoopes to talk about it. But again, preseason is what it is. Preseason is different for every other team, but the goal of preseason is, ideally, you make it through the preseason with no injuries. You can try out how you play. And like, if you looked at the Atlanta Dream yesterday, they just blitzed at the start of both halves. And they just said, you know what, we'll go plus 10 in each of these to start each half, and then we're good. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, I don't think that this is something that would have made that much of a difference if it wasn't Sheryl Swoopes. But I do think Sheryl Swoopes, there's been a lot of kind of almost bad faith arguments made by Sheryl Swoopes that maybe this was just a normal thing, and it just so happened that it was, talking about the criticism of the Fever and stuff. Maybe I'm looking too far into this. But anyway, we haven't seen anything that egregious from Sheryl Swoopes, to be honest, but it's something to talk about, because at the end of the day, look, we kind of are going to be reacting to people's opinions, and I did say yesterday I will be reacting to it. But I will say, when I listened to it, it didn't sound as bad as when I read it. But I did promise you guys a video talking about it, and I don't think there's much in this. I really don't. I don't agree with what Sheryl Swoopes is saying, but this isn't nearly as egregious as some of the stuff last year. And I think in general, Sheryl Swoopes hasn't been that bad this season. Let's be real, especially in comparison to some of the people. But anyway, I'll see you guys.